welcome to Dinner for Dad. I'm Allison, and I am cooking for my dad so that he lets me continue to live here and that I don't end up a homeless person. So today's menu is butter chicken with cauliflower rice. And again, this show we try to do low carbohydrates for our health. And so yeah, we're gonna begin. I'm gonna put this knife down so I don't hurt anyone, the cameraman specifically. This butter chicken is kind of an Americanized version, mostly because I went to the grocery store to get a key ingredient from the traditional Indian dish, which is garam masala, and the grocery store was out of it. Thanks, Bremerton. So I am just doing a little simplified version, but I've done this one before, and Dad liked it, and I liked it, so it should be good. All right, and I'm also going to try to not say so much. So we're going to start with spices, which is really the key to this dish. So what we have here is about a tablespoon of turmeric, a half a teaspoon of chili powder, tablespoon of ground ginger, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of salt. So we are going to mix all of this together into a bowl. Get in there. All right, so we're just gonna, use our hands to mix up the spices, which we're then gonna use to coat the chicken with. It smells really gingery. Yum. All right. You're gonna take the chicken, coat that shit real good in spices. And then set aside in another bowl. We're gonna cook it in a minute. My new rap song. My album drops never. All right, I did not put enough spices to evenly coat the chicken. All right, our chicken is coated. Next step is we want to saute garlic and onion. This is 2 cloves of garlic and about a half of an onion. Just a plain old yellow onion. This is where the butter comes in because of the butter chicken. This is gonna be, we're gonna saute this in the butter, and also the butter is a key to the flavor of the sauce. So you wanna use about half a stick, like so. Very healthy. But we cut out the carbs, so it's like a, one of those. And while that's melting, I'm going to start working on the cauliflower. So as a substitute for rice, we're using cauliflower. But you can buy this at the grocery store in the frozen section, and it's already diced into like little rice size pieces. And you can flavor it however you want, and it's a good substitute if you're trying to not do the rice. So we are going to just heat up a skillet. That's not a skillet, that's a pan. What's the difference? I don't know. I'm not a professional. I'm gonna use just some basic extra virgin olive oil. And because this rice came frozen, I don't know, I'm just gonna cook it in here until it becomes unfrozen, and then flavor it with whatever the fuck spice I want. Maybe like salt and onion powder, I haven't decided yet. We'll get there when we get there. Okay, now we are going to saute garlic with the onion. I need to hire a cleanup crew because it's going to be a bitch to clean up afterwards. Our onions and our garlic are nice and browned, so that means it's time to start cooking the chicken. So, pop it in this pan here, and we're looking for the chicken to become white on the outside. And once that happens, then we'll add the rest of the sauce, which is cream and tomato paste. So it should be like 3 to 5 minutes for the chicken to get cooked. Because it cooks fast because I chopped it into bite-sized pieces. I should have mentioned that first. And our cauliflower rice is sauteing. When you weren't watching, I added a little more olive oil just to get that sauteing. Flavoring this with salt and onion powder. I don't know, it seems like a good combination. If I could afford saffron, I would add some of that, like saffron cauliflower rice sounds amazing. But that shit is expensive. Like $20 for like that much saffron. Wild. Our chicken is ready. It's been sauteing. It's all white. I haven't done the temperature check yet because we're now going to add the sauce and let it kind of soak up some amazing flavor. The sauce consists of, well, it's already covered in spices, so we got that covered. Tomato paste and about 1.5 cups of cream. You can use like heavy whipping cream or half and half or, you know, something like that. I'm going to do about half a can because there's a lot of chicken. And we dump this in there. It's going to turn a really pretty color, which is fun. So yeah, we're just going to stir this up and it'll need to sit and maybe like on a low, let's go with medium low. Oops, it's spilling everywhere. Because we want this sauce to thicken. Actually, a great way to make it thicken faster is to add a little more of this. Alright, so I've almost used a full can. Alright, so this is looking really good. The tomato paste is still kind of melting. And if I were to do this again, I would have done it in a pot. Because as I'm stirring it up, I am spilling shit everywhere, which does not make Dad happy. I'll clean up before he sees it, though. Don't worry. Don't worry about me. And let's check on the cauliflower rice. Ooh, that's looking good. This, I like to brown it, so it was frozen, so it's going to take a little bit of extra time to kind of cook off the water. But I like to do a little taste test and see where we're at flavor-wise. Tip of the day, don't rush the taste test or you will burn your mouth. Ow, it's still hot. I need salt. So we're gonna add some salt. Otherwise, it's really good. gonna let this continue to cook. I'm gonna up it a little bit. Our sauce is thickening to a really good consistency. So I'm gonna lower the temperature and just kind of let this simmer in flavor. Make sure it's all like super well mixed up. This is the exact color we're going for. So you can tell it's not fully mixed yet because you can see on the outside it's that lighter yellowy orange, and what we want is for the whole thing to be like this color, this kind of red orange.
Yes, dear.
I am plating you with some cauliflower rice.
Sounds painful. Being plated.
And I'll be right back with the butter chicken.
Oh my God. That looks...
Do you want it on top of the rice or next to it?
Next to it. I like next to it.
More?
Yes.
More?
That looks exactly like a Maharaj
That's what I was going for.
type restaurant. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, is it going to burn my mouth?
It might.
Okay.
Paired with our butter chicken is water because I am not drinking. It's dry July. I'm taking 30 days off of the booze, and Dad is too, basically. We had a little bit of a role reversal last night when I was mad at you and you weren't mad at me.
Yes, we did. All because I was joking with you.
Yes, I sometimes can't take a joke.
Serious.
Yep. So this is traditionally an Indian dish. And I know you've been to India. I was thinking maybe you could tell me about me and the audience about your experience.
I've actually been to India twice. One time was when I was 24, 25, and I went with a big red backpack, and my intention was to, because I was kind of a hippie at the time, my intention was to hitchhike from the airport to the ashram where I was going to stay.
Okay.
And
this is just real quick. This is when he was practicing a sect of Hindu religion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, he was trying to be Hindu.
I was studying. I was learning about spirituality.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was very fortunate that I was seated next to an Indian, an East Indian American who was an engineer and was going back home, and he said, "That is a very bad idea." And I said, "Why?" He said, "First of all, it's May. It's going to be 95 degrees. People will see you with the giant red backpack and they will not want to stop and pick you up. You will end up walking. And besides, the only people who have cars that could pick you up are wealthy people. And they won't stop and pick you up." So, it was one of those very, very fortunate karma moments where he offered to give me a ride.
Oh.
And so he took me from the airport to his house. And I think we arrived at like 2 in the morning, something like that.
Wow.
And so he took me up the stairs, and I remember it was like the 4th floor, and there were people sleeping on all of the landings, on every landing. And of course, being a naive American kid who'd never, I'd been in the military out of the country, but never really on, a free situation out of the country. And I was a little shocked, and I said, so what are these poor people laying on the sidewalk or on the landings? And he said, oh no, those are the lucky ones. They are the servants of the people who live in the apartments.
Whoa.
The poor people are out sleeping in maybe with a tin roof and a lot of poverty.
Wow. But they still had to sleep outside.
Hmm?
And they were the lucky ones.
And they were the lucky ones, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of poverty. Back then it was Bombay. Now it's Mumbai, of course.
Right.
So the second time I went, I was an engineer for Boeing, and I went with an expense report and a 5-star hotel, and it's a very different experience.
I bet.
Very different experience.
Which one was the time that you met Diana Ross?
It was the first time.
Okay.
Met her is a bit of an exaggeration.
Oh.
I was like the people sleeping on the landing in the field of the ashram. And Diana Ross comes by on an elephant.
Wow.
Of course, celebrities got different treatment
Yeah.
at the ashram, just like...
Was she at the ashram?
Yes.
Oh.
She was practicing the same things, studying.
Cool.
So I looked up at her, clearly recognized, and I think there was some rumors around the ashram that Diana Ross was there.
Okay.
And so I looked up and I said, oh, hi. She said, hey. That was the extent of my interaction with Diana Ross.
Wow. What a sight that must have been.
Oh. Yeah. I thought she'd maybe get off the elephant and ask me to go out. Or,
Like on a date?
yeah, of course. Traditional food at a 5-star restaurant or something.
Bummer.
Hey, it was all I got, and it was good enough for me.
Did you ever get a Hindu name? Like
Yes,
me?
I did.
Oh, what was yours?
Swami Ramdas.
Oh, what does it
Not
mean?
just Ramdas, but Swami. Well, it's a. And all of the people in the ashram were really jealous because the guru had never named anyone who wasn't an actual Swami.
Whoa.
And there's a bit of a funny story to that, is that when I went to meet him, they said, you can ask for a name. And the entire time I was going in my head, just don't name me Ramdas. Just don't give me the name Ramdas. I don't want the name Ramdas. Ramdas was a political activist, and also he was the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and who named him Ramdas. And I just thought, that's too stereotypical. I almost as if he knew what I was thinking, but with a twist. He named me Swami Ramdas.
Wow. Do you remember my Hindu name?
Akuna?
Close. Karuna.
Karuna. And it means
Compassion.
compassion. Again, you can't get more appropriate than that. I mean, how much compassion does it take to cook and feed your dad?
Well, it is rent.